Hello, it's it's your friend Mr. T, baby. Let's bring it home. I don't know how to talk to camera. This is very, very strange, especially when in the beginning there's going to be no one watching. So, welcome. I am your host of Older, Wiser, Stronger. My name is Mr. T. I reside here in Sydney, Australia. Welcome. So look, what's this all about? It's a great question. Thank you for asking. So for a long time, I've wanted to put together a channel basically to share experience, ideas, lessons learned, stupid things that I've done, some, fun things that I've done. Basically just to show guys that there is another way out there. You don't have to go to university, to make it. Not that I've made it. Anything but, in fact, anything but. But, I certainly did okay considering what the teachers and stuff at school thought I was going to get up to. And, just want to, at the ripe old age of 42, 43 in a couple of months, I've done some stuff, learned some things, messed up on a couple of things, and I just want to kind of share that story, talk to some interesting people that I've met on my travels, and hey, see if we can all have a little space together where it's a bit of fun. It's also a place to share, as guys we're told, you don't talk about anything, you don't talk about your feelings or whatever. Well, now we can. I'm quite good at listening, quite good at talking. I was a recruiter for 6 years up until recently. I was quite good at that, interviewing people. So, finding out what makes them tick, what are they looking for in their next role. All of these things translate. So let's see if we can build this. So look, this white belt, which I had to do a really funny, what's it called? A title picture, whatever it's called. I don't even know the lingo. I had to do one of those pictures to get your attention, to get you to watch this video. So I've had that white belt now for, just over 4 months, 4 months and a week or something like that. But it did take me 10 years to get this white belt. A very, very good friend of mine, Keith, he started Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu 10 years ago. Very recently got his black belt, God bless him. An incredible journey. When I first met Keith, it was January, February 2010. Met him in Canada on a snowboarding trip. Keith wasn't training at the time. He wasn't in the world's best shape, but he's the world's best personality, funniest guy I've ever met. I wasn't in good shape at the time. Dear God, no. And I certainly was in worse shape by the end of the 3 months that we spent in Canada. That was Fernie, British Columbia. What a place, by the way. What a place. God bless you all. I started training not too long after leaving Canada, and I realized, my God, I put on so much weight whilst I've been traveling and whatnot. And I started going to the gym. I was 29 at the time, and hey, lost quite a bit of weight quite quickly, and was starting to feel really good about myself. And Keith would always say, "Oh, what are you doing? You just want to be skinny. You're silly. What are you doing?" And I would tell him, "Oh man, I feel so much better about myself. Blah blah blah. Makes me feel good. Clothes fit better, all that nonsense that goes with it. I don't get sweaty thighs just walking around the place. And I think I think it motivated, well, I know it motivated him and inspired him, you know, because I actually got abs, and I was looking pretty tidy, man. I was skinny, but rippling, well, not rippling, but, you know, abs. And hey, I didn't look too bad. So I think I probably went from about 202 pounds down to 180. Yeah, maybe a bit more. I don't know, something like that. Anyway, it's feeling good. I'm 6'2", by the way, or just under. Yeah, 5'7". Not really, just under 6'2", 187. And it really inspired Keith to, you know, go to the gym. And he started going to the gym and whatnot. But I guess it really wasn't for him. He didn't love it. I loved it. I was, you know, absolutely taken with it. But he didn't love it. But he eventually, you know, after a couple of years, I think he found Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu, and that's what his thing was. And he would always tell me, you should try it, you'll love it. And, you know, I broke my neck in a car accident in 2004, my C1, C2 and C3. And I always told him, and I had a serious head injury, which if that's not become apparent already, then I'm doing something right. But yeah, very serious head injury, brain trauma, and I broke my C1, my C2 and my C3 in my neck. So I'd always say to him, look, after, you know, what I've been through, I'm not in a hurry to let, you know, strong, sweaty men get a hold of me around the neck. And then Keith got his blue belt. And he said he should try it. And I said, no, not yet. Then he got his purple. And I was like, wow, the progress. And he lost all this weight and it's in great shape. And it really changed his life. Then he got his brown. And, you know, that's what, 10 years later or something. And I found myself here in Australia. You know, I've been coached online by a good friend of mine and one of YouTube's shining stars in the powerlifting community, Pete Rubish. And, you know, 11 years solid straight, I've been training with Pete. And like, I'm not particularly strong. I'm not built for strength. Well, all those lame excuses, 100% natural. And actually 100% natural. But hey, you know, considering I broke my neck and I was pretty written off, you know, my numbers got okay. I think at my best numbers, you know, I pulled 485 as a deadlift, was bench 120. I don't know what that is in pounds, 120. I'll figure it out and put it up here. And I did squat, I think 180, which is that 396, you know, to depth. It's all right, not the world's best, but whatever. Hey, not too bad. Because I've completely lost track of where I was going. So I'm out here in Australia, then you know, I've met the girl of my dreams. Turns out her brother is also a brown belt in Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu. You know, and I just got to know him. You know, he told me the benefits of what it's done for him and how it makes him feel and all of this good stuff. And then within a week of each other, I think, both Lucas and Keith got their black belts. Lucas got his first, and I was, you know, incredibly proud of him. You know, he's been training, I think he's been training like 16 years or something. You know, multiple times a champion, just a phenom, absolute phenom. And then one day I was looking at Instagram, a week later, I was looking at Instagram, and Keith put a photo up of his brown belt saying that he's retired his brown belt, and I knew he's not quitting, he's gone and got his black. And the next day he posts this beautiful photo of him and his professors on either side of him and his black belt. And I posted on Instagram that picture of him and telling him how proud I was of him, and it genuinely brought a tear to my eye, lump to my throat. You know, I'm a bit of a softie, and I said, I think this is the thing that has actually finally pushed me to try it. And a week later, or 8 days, 9 days later, I was walking past Legacy, and I stuck my head in to say hello. And hey, that's what, 4 months and a week ago or so, and I've been hooked from the very, very first session. And hey, you know, I've rambled on for 10 minutes. This is the first take. Hey, I'm not going to do any of this editing. You know, I don't like jump cuts, and you know, I'm only ever going to come to you guys au naturel. I'm never going to plan anything. I'm never going to plan anything. I'm never going to write a script, anything like that. You know, I'm just going to wing it. That's how I've done everything my entire life. And if you've listened to this far, then God bless you and thank you. But what I will say is I'm 3 competitions deep already. And look, I love it. You know, there's a meme that I saw earlier. It was talking about, you know, it was saying how you just meet a person who's just started training Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu, and they say, tell me again how it's changed your life. Well, I can tell you, it's literally changed my life. It's unbelievable. You know, people say, oh, maybe you should have started sooner. No, I wasn't ready. I wasn't ready. And we can, you know, learn about all of this and go into that later. But I think, you know, this is a good intro, right? I don't know. If it's not, tell me, you know. You know, say whatever you want, man. Water for ducks back. I'm here to, you know, share my experience with you guys. If you like it, great. If you don't, hey, that's okay too. You know, like I said, man, I broke my neck and I had a serious head injury in a pretty terrible car accident, to be honest, in 2004. Hey, the doctors and specialists wrote me off. You never achieve any, you won't work again. You know, you won't be doing anything physical, any of that. And here I am. You know, I've competed in powerlifting, in the gym meet, did okay. And now, you know, I am a senior white belt in Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu that's competed 3 times in this first 4 months of training. And hey, I've come away with 3 silvers. Not too bad. Fuck. Thank you very much, guys. I love and appreciate all of you and your time. And hey, like, comment, subscribe. Please leave me some questions, man. I'm talking to myself. You know, I'm really gonna make a go of this bloody thing. I've been putting it off for all this time. So, you know, I'll thank you very much, and I'll see you next time.